This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Mumtaz Wani. He's an attorney. He's going to talk about a very hot topic these days, which is precious to all of you as a viewer, on immigration reform and what's the future that holds now the Senate has passed the bill. And is it going to die down in the House of Representatives? So he's going to shed some light on this thing. Thank you, Attorney Wani, and welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk a little about the status of the immigration reform bill. Then we'll talk about the Senate has passed the bill and what's going to happen with the House of Representatives. The bill is going to die or not?
I have been doing immigration for the past 13 years in this area. And the last time the immigration bill was passed was 2000, when President Bill Clinton passed the Life Act. And 13 years later, the Senate passed a bill. And everybody was expecting that something will really come out of this bill. And it is a very good bill. But the problem is, the House Speaker has categorically mentioned that they are not going to take it up for deliberation. So what is the future of the bill? Nobody knows yet.
It's going to be a piecemeal solution?
What the House is, they put another piecemeal bill that is called the Dream Act. Under the Dream Act, the House really wants that the children who are here and who are under 16 when they came to this country, they should be given a path to citizenship starting from the green card. But that is not what the Senate bill was. The Senate bill was a comprehensive immigration reform. Comprehensive immigration reform means that the first step is secure the borders. And that was really a very important point in this Senate bill. So there are comprehensive measures how to secure the belt so that the people cannot cross illegally into the United States. That was the basic idea. And after that, they wanted to give some way of legalizing 11.5 million illegal immigrants who are present here in this country and are living in this country.
So, path to citizenship for those people.
That's right. And one of the ways in this Senate bill was to legalize them in a very systematic and step-by-step process. The first step was called provisional green card or provisional permanent status. This provisional was for 6 years. Anybody who was here present on December 31st, 2011 was illegally here in this country and was physically present on the date of application could be eligible to file for this temporary provisional green card status. And this status was for 6 years. And after 6 years, it could be reviewed again and extend for 6 more years. But if you are otherwise eligible, you can file for the citizenship 3 years later. So the whole process would take 13 years to get the citizenship.
This is you're talking about the one who's illegal immigrant, right?
That's right. That's right.
13
yes.
years,
13 years.
Which isn't really that bad because it takes about 5 years to get citizenship anyway. So
That's right.
So it's a little bit, it takes a double in terms of the times.
That's true. That is true. But the only problem is that the House is not taking it up for consideration. So what will happen to this bill, nobody knows.
Well, as you probably know, and you share with my view and the views of a lot of people in this country, that we must need an immigration reform.
That's true.
And that will create jobs and can build a prosperity in this nation. And we must take care of those especially those illegal immigrants who crossed the border, who came to, and who are productive citizens of this nation.
Right.
We should find a path to citizenship. The
That's
most
true.
important of all, that we all believe, and I guess we all have to work together to convince the House of Representatives that the children of illegal immigrants who came here, this is the only country they have known. They must have right to the citizenship. What's your view on that?
Absolutely right. The first thing is about these 11.5 million people.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that we can put them in the trucks and send them back to their country.
They're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
Right.
They are here. And what are the dangers? Number one is that we don't know who these people are because they are not in our system. If somebody commits any crime and then leaves. We don't know who did it because they are not in our system. Their fingerprints are not in the system.
That's the good way to put it. That's a very nice, you said it very well.
That's very important. We see on and off there are some crimes committed in Washington, D.C., metropolitan area, and there are no arrests made because we cannot find them because they are not in the system. And the second thing is all of us know that these people work. They are not sitting idle, they work. And they work under the table, they are paid cash, but they don't pay the taxes because they don't have the Social Security number.
So the Treasury, IRS is losing the money.
So the country as a whole is losing money.
Right.
They get paid, but they are not paying taxes because nobody is accepting their taxes. They don't have the Social Security number. So what are we gaining out of this, prolonging this matter? Nothing.
The pain and agony.
The pain and agony. And always these people are paid lower than the normal U.S. worker. That means we are really getting the U.S. workers' job done for a lower payment. If they are legalized, then we don't have that problem.
Tell me a little bit about this provisional status, and what is the provisional status, and how do you get the permanent status? And then I want to talk about DREAM Act, which has been, in the forefront of the Senate for a long time.
Yeah, this Senate bill, it has
the one that just got passed.
That's right. That's got passed. It has the eligibility criteria.
Right.
And it's not that everybody can get a provisional status. It is the first criteria is that you should have been here physically present on December 31st, 2011. That means the people who came after that are not eligible under this. And number two, you should be physically present at the time of the application. And there are criminal bars. If you have felonies, you are out of it. If you have 3 misdemeanors, you are out of it. If you have terrorism bars, if you are involved anywhere in the terrorism, in any way, directly or indirectly, you are out of, you are not getting a benefit. And also, you are not entitled for the public benefit, like these food stamps and all other benefits which are otherwise applicable to all the U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents. They are not eligible for that. That there is a big criticism that these people will get back and then they will have to pay for their food stamps, all that stuff. So this provision has taken care of that. So that is the provisional. And after 6 years of this being on the provisional status, then you can get it extended. For extended, there is another condition that you have to pass civic and English test. That means you have to amalgamate into the U.S. society completely. That is so far the provisional, the status is concerned, and it can ultimately go to 6 years later. It can, if you are still eligible, if you don't have any criminal record, if you don't have any terrorism background, you can get the permanent green card. But you have to stay at the back of the line. That means that people who are already here and waiting for their immigrant visas, you can, when they get the visas, after that, your turn will come. So that means you are not adversely affecting anybody who is already in the queue.
One of the fundamental flaws that I see in immigration is, and has been, continues to be, the sponsorship of brothers and citizens. So it's motivated by basically saying that if you're part of the family, you have to come to this country, but regardless that you can be productive, regardless you have education or not. Do you subscribe to that they should be united?
I think yes.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the brothers and sisters.
That's right. I think yes, but the Senate bill eliminates that category.
Exactly, yeah. And I have discussed this thing.
That's right.
with them.
Yeah. So they, instead of that, they did 2 things.
Right.
One, they eliminated the diversity visa.
Right.
The diversity visa was the countries who are less represented in this country, they get kind of lottery.
Okay.
Right.
So that has been eliminated.
That
makes it fair. It's a fair game.
Yeah. And I think that's right. Because for diversity visa, you get these people from all over the world with no education or absolutely very little education and bring them here, put them here, absolutely they don't know anything right and left, and it really becomes a trouble for them. And it takes them a lot of time to get mixed with our system.
They don't become they don't integrate well.
That's right.
In the society.
And at the same time, what we are doing, we get millions of students on F1 visa.
And they send them back after they get education, and we pay for their education.
We pay for their education.
That does not make any sense, does it?
Right.
And they compete against us.
That's right.
And especially in STEM education.
That's right. It was a country where the idea was the brand drain. We were getting the best brands all over the world.
And we still do. It's a brain drain for them, brain gain for us.
That's right. But what we are doing now, we are developing the brain here and it's running back to their own countries.
They compete against us.
Yes. And this bill had a provision for that, that these people who fall under STEM, science, technology,
engineering, math.
Yeah, and engineering and math. And they should be, once they are here, they should be given the green card and eliminate these two categories. One is brothers and sisters and other is diversity.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's very important because we will be again back on the track where we used to be before we ran back this, and now we have the outsourcing of almost everything to other countries. The reason is they will go back and then they again compete, as you rightly said, compete against us.
So what's your thought with regard to the bill in terms of the having increase the H-1 visa and not be dependent on a country? For example, if you're born in India and China, the H-1 visa runs out in about a couple of weeks or months.
Right.
So they should not, and the Philippines was another 3 countries. So what's your thoughts on that, and what is that, any provision in the Senate bill from that?
Yes.
I thought there was one.
Yeah, there is. They are increasing the visas, the H-1B visas. They are increasing, and the number is increasing. Right now, it's only 65,000 visas.
Exactly, and it's also based on the country that was you born.
No, not for H-1B. It's for the green card.
Exactly.
The green card process. There are two processes. One is for H-1B. It's not the country based, and the green card is country based. The one that the Philippines, India, China, and Mexico, they are lagging behind. That, and for India, if you are in EB3 category, that means if their job requires a bachelor's degree. Most of the jobs, IT jobs, require the bachelor's degree, and your priority date is somewhere 2003. That means it's 10 years behind. So somebody who filed this petition 2003 can now be considered for getting the green card. So it is really a big backlog and country based. All other countries are 2009, and so this eliminates the country wide this allocation of visas. This bill.
Country of birth.
That's right. Okay. Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about, a lot of people are interested in adoption. So how can one immigrate a child after adoption? What's the process involved there, attorney?
Yeah, there are two ways of adoption. Number one way is that if you are adopting from an orphanage, that's a different process. You go outside the country, and any country, and go to an orphanage and adopt a child.
Right.
And then another is that you want to adopt someone from your own family.
Sure.
Right. So different criteria for both the things. If you are adopting from an orphanage, there are two ways of doing it. Number one is you file a petition here.
Okay.
And you do the home study here.
Okay.
They come to your home and see if your home is really worth living for a child.
Okay.
You don't have any criminal background, or the house is really a good environment for the child. So this petition is approved. And then you go to a country and select a child, pick up a child from an orphanage. And since the petition is pending, so you go with this approved petition to the U.S. consulate in that country and get the visa and bring the child with you. But so far as the family member is concerned, you want to get some family member who is first of all should be below 16. The problem with that is after doing the adoption, the child has to live with you for 2 years.
Okay.
So that means you have to move there for 2 years, and the child should be physically with you for 2 years before you come back and file for the child's petition.
So it's a catch-22 situation.
Right. And there's another catch. In some Islamic countries, adoption is prohibited in Islam.
Okay.
So if you want to adopt from your family, that is prohibited. And if you want to do from Islamic countries where the Islamic laws are implemented, like Pakistan, like
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
and same thing with the Middle Eastern countries?
Middle Eastern countries, yeah. So because in Islam, the adoption is prohibited, so they take into consideration, since you are a Muslim and the country is a Muslim country, Islamic country, so they don't accept adoption from those countries.
So let's suppose in India, I was born in India. Suppose I want to adopt a niece who's under 16. Can I adopt them?
Yes, because in India you are not governed by the Islamic law.
Okay, this is something that not too many people knew about it, and you can do as many as you want to.
As many as you want, depending on your income, depending on how many you can, because it's your responsibility.
Is that right?
Yes, it's your responsibility. And if you can spend 2 years back in India and keep the children with you before you really file for their immigration.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir, attorney.
Thank you for inviting me.
We appreciated that. Thank you for watching. This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week.